I have been a YouTube fanatic for years. I was on YouTube before Kids React came out. My favorite twins was before the Dolan duo. It was Jack and Finn from Jack's Gap. From Dan and Phil, the saturated era, I was there through it all. Through watching My Life is Ava, Dina Tokyo, and RCL Beauty, I was certainly a YouTube watcher OG. Now that I have laid down my credentials, let me tell you that 2 years ago, I was a completely different person. I was full of doubt. I was denying my dreams. I was also at a mental rock bottom. During this rock bottom period of my life, somehow, some way, I don't know how it got there, but I got a recommendation from a certain YouTuber. And I still remember the exact video. It was Becoming Selfish was the best thing I ever did, and it was by the Wizard Liz. It was greatly beneficial for me. And then after this, I came across so many other YouTubers that shifted my mindset and honestly changed my life. I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but it's true. Nowadays, I see a lot of people that were like me in my early stages, and I keep on finding myself recommending the same people over and over and over again. So I thought it would be beneficial to put together a list, including things like who would I recommend it for and also why I'm recommending them as well. And every single person that I mentioned, their links to their channels will also be put in the description box below, so do not worry, I got you. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that this list is not in any particular order. Just want to let you know, okay? Okay, so number one, like I mentioned in the intro, is the Wizard Liz. I've been watching her for about 2 years now, and I would highly recommend the Wizard Liz for people who want motivation, want inspiration towards being authentic, prioritizing themselves, self-love, self-acceptance, and who like a tougher type of talk, and people who like intensity. One thing about her messaging, the way she frames her videos and speaks in her videos, is that it does shake you up outside of your, normal way of thinking. Because like I said, when I first started my journey, I was in a completely different space. So at this point in time, I was living life for other people, and I was miserable because of it, because I would constantly put other people's needs above my own. And that just wasn't working out for me, but I didn't know anything else at the time. In that video that I mentioned in the intro, this Living Selfishly video, it was the first time I heard something like that. And she was so passionate about her opinion on living life for herself. And I was like, what? That's okay to do? We can actually do that? If you need to be shaken up or shaken into alignment, I would recommend the Wizard Liz. Number two, the next one is Awwlexis. Now, I have also been watching her for 2 years, and she is my girl. So where do we start? So her content is about uplifting women to live their best lives and go after their dreams, whatever that looks like for them, and also to be more grounded in feminine energy. So dream life, abundance, business, relationships, whatever, she got you. And personally, I have recommended Awwlexis for women who thinks that they can't have their dream life, or struggles with the idea of their dream life, or they mention being addicted to stress or having scarcity mindsets. When I first started watching Awwlexis, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. And through watching her, I let go of a lot of limiting beliefs, and I also had my mind expanded based on what she was doing for herself. So yes, watch her. I would highly recommend her. Number three is Tam Kaur. What can I say? So this YouTuber is for the girls, it's for the women that want to do it all. People who want to do all the things. Not only does she have 3 YouTube channels that she keeps up to date, she also has a podcast, she also has a newsletter, she's also writing a book, has a journal business. It's just so inspiring for other ambitious women to see that. But for her actual content itself, Tam Kaur is pretty much like self-help Google. So basically, if I'm in a rut somewhere, or if I'm having a particular problem, like, I don't know, making friends or something, I would just search on YouTube, making friends Tam Kaur. And in that video that will pop up from her channel, she will go into things. It's extremely organized. She'll have different chapters explaining different things. And at the end, she would give you action steps on how to take everything she mentioned in the video into your life, which is amazing. And she brings that organizational energy also into her podcast. Honestly, 10 out of 10 would recommend, and I would especially recommend this for people who are for women that are ambitious. Number 4, Hailey Gamba. Now, Miss Hailey herself is a YouTube OG. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch her a lot for like beauty tips and like girly tips as well. Absolutely loved it. Now I've been consistently watching her for about a year, so like one hail miss to another hail miss. And one thing that I noticed about her recent videos, they're all about living your dream life, but they lean more towards to how to carry yourself, how to navigate it. Her content has a lot of embracing your authenticity, embracing your wants and what you want to go after, and not shaming yourself for it. So Hailey's channel is such a good recommendation for women who want to embrace their authenticity and say, hey, I want to do this, and actually go after it and feel okay with going after it. And the next YouTuber on this list will be Elicia Gougen and her podcast, which is the Glow Up Secrets podcast. So I find that Alicia's content is very good for people that have already taken that leap of faith or has already decided to do something about going after whatever they want to go after, but they haven't gotten it yet. So they are kind of in this weird gray area where they're not who they used to be, but they're also not exactly who they want to be yet. They're like in that path in the middle. She's perfect for this. And this topic is such a vital topic and such an important thing to talk about, which is why I wrote a book on it. But still, more on that later. But Elicia is really good with this. Personally, when I've been in a rut, when I was frustrated with not seeing what I want to see, or when I would question whether or not I was going to get the things that I wanted, her podcast would literally calm my nervous system, because she herself had gone through the process as well. Because her story herself is amazing. I would highly recommend checking her out. And number 6 on this list is Aeina P. Now this is a super recent one, like I think 2 months, but I just have to mention it. So she's a Muslim woman and she mostly talks about quantum jumping. To be honest, when it came to quantum stuff, I was kind of avoiding it because I didn't understand it. But the way that she explains it, the way she breaks it down, the tips that she gives, it's very amazing and I would recommend. Number 7 is Bahja. Seeing another Black Muslim hijabi going after what they want, doing their thing and living authentically and just being themselves was such a mind expander for me, and also it was just so calming. It's so calming to watch her videos, because there's actually a quote from Florence Givens. So she said that women who show up authentically and go after whatever their dream life is, and them just walking in their truth and walking in what they want to do, it's like walking permission for other women to do the same thing. And that pretty much sums up why I love Bahja so much. Now, the next recommendation, it will be Yan. So if you want bite-sized motivation, if you are interested in seeing aesthetically pleasing videos that just soothe you, then Yan's your girl. I have had the pleasure of watching her YouTube resurgence, because she had a YouTube channel before, the same one that she's posting on right now. She did post on it before, but the current content that she is currently doing just started 5 months ago, and I had the pleasure of watching the very first video for her YouTube comeback. She shares advice from her life, her experiences, and she does it in such a poetic and beautiful way. So the last recommendation is actually a bit of advice. Before you do this, you have to get clear on what you want your dream life to be, or the general direction that you want to go down. So what you're going to do is you're going to find somebody who is living your dream life or is working on it and is further than you, and find their content and subscribe and watch it. Their content should make you feel deeply motivated. It should make you feel inspired. It should make you feel connected. For me personally, usually it's YouTubers like My Life is Ava, Hotel Patty, which I believe is extremely criminally underrated, by the way. Literally anything by Tam Kaur. So when I'm watching their videos, I feel like my mind is expanding. I feel like my dreams are entirely accessible. There's nothing crazy about my dreams. I feel like it's entirely plausible for me to get the dreams that I want. However, at the same time, you should cut out any content that makes you feel absolutely awful. You should cut out content as well that makes you feel like your dreams are ridiculous, or that you can't go for them, or it's impossible. Anything that's literally working against you. And with this final advice, we have reached the conclusion. So this was Little Mint Bayinnah. If you really like this video and like this sort of content, I would highly suggest you subscribe. And if you really enjoyed this content, I would highly suggest the And We Continue newsletter, which is my newsletter. It's basically a dose of inspiration sent to your inbox. We have chats there, we have lives there, we have a good time over there. If you're interested, it's in the description box below. So if you want some content in between episodes, you can also head over to my podcast, which is Muslim Women Love Funds. It's all about the journey towards financial freedom and all the lessons learned as an African-American Muslim woman. If that's interesting to you, that will also be in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. So if I did not mention a YouTuber that made a huge impact on your life, please leave the recommendation down below. I would love to check him out. I'm pretty sure everyone else would love to as well. So yes, this was Little Mint Bayinnah, and I can't wait to see you in further videos.